I was approached by a gentleman on Threads earlier in the summer who was a very well-practiced predator. And it's people like him who are the reason why women don't feel safe to be online or just out in the world, because there are people who have literally practiced their ability to manipulate, to gaslight, to overpower, to pull weird energetic dynamics. This guy was using hypnosis practices. He was adjusting the cadence of his tone to try to create safety and softness and lead me into certain parts of the conversation. And he was using classic psychological manipulation. If I had not spent years studying this stuff, I would have just followed so blindly and so naively without the red flags going off. On top of that, he tried to create this kind of spiritual hierarchy and almost create the vision of him being this guru on the pedestal, talking about training in Tibet decades ago and like these powerful experiences and all this stuff he's learned, and then trying to almost embark that on someone else. And it was beautiful for me, which is weird to say, because had I come across someone like him 10 years ago, I would have fallen for it. In fact, I did, because this is kind of what the yoga teacher did at my yoga certification in India, and then he assaulted me. But he let in with very spiritual talk and with coming across like this well-established guru, and I've got the best intentions, but then he started pulling out the different stops. So when this guy stumbled in with his weird jargon and what seemed like some synchronicities, and he seemed like he was very well-intentioned and just wanted to talk about his book, and I was in the process of writing a book, so I was like excited. It felt like pen pals. It felt like 6 or 7 year old Kara who's just like, ooh, I get to chat with someone around the world who has similar values and passions, and it's harmless. What could be wrong with that? But this is what he wanted, and this is how he clearly goes around preying on lots of women in this space, and unfortunately probably gets way further than he did with me, with many of them. And it's energy harvesting at its finest. Not only is it power play dynamics and then manipulation and coercion and control, but it is energy harvesting, because he is trying to hook into someone else, the prey, so to say, and take from them. He is so lonely or distorted and in his own challenging world that instead of connecting to source and feeling supported through that, or finding a purposeful way to show up in the world or to give back and have meaning, he wants to take and pull and siphon and gather the energy or the essence from, in this case, the feminine. So I just want you to understand that there are so many subtle ways that people do this, and it's coming from a place of their lack of healing. And the more you step into your empowerment, the less access you give them and the less power and energy you will give them. As I said, thankfully this time my radars were going off very quickly, and I was more in a state of observation out of curiosity, and I was watching and hearing all the different tactics and psychological ways he was trying to gain power and control. And because I was aware of it, I didn't give into it, and I could then cut off the conversation. And bring in my guides, actually, they cut off the conversation for me very quickly and just end it. But if I hadn't been aware, and if I hadn't felt worthy of better, and if I hadn't learned to set boundaries or create a new sense of self, I would have been stuck in a very unhealthy, undesirable situation. Now, I absolutely wish people like that didn't exist, but what I can control is myself and myself only. So you build your confidence up and realize what you deserve, and you train yourself in the art of discernment around other people and their intentions, or what might be psychological manipulation or gaslighting or control tactics. You double down on your energetic practices and connecting to your higher self and bringing in your guides, asking for support, divine guidance, to be shown the divine truth and highest truth of every person and every situation. And you raise up your inner masculine protector so that you can continue to embody your feminine essence, but also know that you are strong enough and capable enough to protect yourself and to hold that down. I pray that someday we don't see as many wolves in sheep's clothing, but until then, your personal empowerment is your responsibility. And there's no reason to feel bad at all when you cut off someone like that who does not deserve access to your energy or your life at all.